Hey everyone, Music Man here with Center Step Gaming, and today we're going to go ahead and run through a few races I did on Gran Turismo Sport. So, in these daily races for today, we are in the Mazda on a new track I actually haven't been on before, the Tsukuba circuit. I don't feel too bad mispronouncing that because there's people that still don't know how to say Bathurst, so I will leave it at that. But we're in the RX-7s and I'm gonna, give a little winky wink to the camera. Say hi to mom and dad, my best fans. But set a time first in the 66-second bracket, so 106. I guess I just raced on my own, so that's why I ignore the 1 minute when it's that low in seconds, but going to the first turn here, and, well, surprisingly everyone keeps it pretty clean, so we'll make our way out in third after a pretty terrible start, and I think it was just because I haven't been on this game in forever, and I just couldn't remember, well, at least it was a clean start. And of course, as you see at the top, my safety rating goes down, and he doesn't get penalized, and then this guy, for some reason, brakes when he doesn't really need to, and then I accidentally punt him, which causes people behind me to punt me, and then I'm just a human pinball there, so there's nothing I can do at that point. But anyway, as I was saying before I was so rudely interrupted, I haven't been on this in a while, so I don't know exactly how to do the starts. I don't know exactly, what button is the clutch yet. I don't remember that, but so these races I just kind of start from a dead bog and get as much as I can on the start. But what we'll see here is I'm kind of battling my way back up, and these two get side by side here, and I'm just going to make a really late move and kind of praying that I can get to that opening before the door closes, and sure enough, I'm able to get there. So coming up onto this turn here, ride the curb and get a little squirrely coming out, and you don't want to do that in these cars because they surprisingly do have a lot of horsepower for these cars. While this guy off to the right is just gonna, I guess, do some donuts or something to celebrate something. But so we'll get another free position there, so that's fourth. One guy, I just guess he's gonna go hit the wall or something. Thankfully he didn't get into me, but that takes some pressure off of the back, and as we go into this turn here, we're just going to try to hunt this guy down to see if we can get a podium in our first race in quite some time. And again, I hop the curb and the car gets a little squirrely. That's something you don't want to do with these cars. As I was saying earlier, you see these cars getting a lot of power for not as much weight, and so that's also why I have some traction control on there. Starting in 3, I'll get it lowered by the end of the night, but especially since I'm using a controller, gonna need some of that traction control, but I'm pretty much not running anything else. I'm running some weak ABS, as pretty much I feel like everyone is doing that across the board, but unless you have a wheel, in most cases with these cars you don't really need the traction control. And then even with some of the higher up cars, if you have a wheel, you can get away with no traction control. Now I'm going to get to the inside of him here as he gets a little squirrely and can't quite clear him on the exit. We'll make a little bit of contact there, and I'll let him get ahead for a little bit as I feel kind of half bad that I chopped down a little too much on him, over anticipating the grip, but he gets a bad exit and we'll stay side by side, no harm, no foul, and I'll just outbrake him and do a nice little power move here on the outside and go on my merry way. So I'll go ahead and skip forward a little bit here, and well, actually a lot here. We'll actually skip all the way to the end because nothing else really happens in this one, and I'll just finish in third. So not bad for a first start, and I'll go ahead and run some more qualifying laps and get a little bit better time, and sure enough, in my next race I am magically on pole. Go figure. So, as I was saying, I am trying to figure out the traction control, what I want to do, and I'll keep it at 3 for now since that's what I've had it, and well, just because I start with such a bog and don't know how to do those quite yet, I start that there. And for some reason, I did not get punted. You know, let's actually go back. I want to take a look at that again. And I guess he ghosted just at the right time, and we'll just kind of sweep him off the track here and not worry about him, because, you know, that's what we do. We just sweep those kinds of people off. So we'll go to the end of this lap to set up for what was some pretty good racing in this one. And I'll come out of this turn, clip the curb. That wasn't the harm, but for some reason, just the front end of the car just didn't want to grip, and ran it a little wide, and Mr. Magoo here is going to make a pretty nice move going in. Late, but good nonetheless, and I'll give him a little room, try to pinch him down. There's a risk with that, you know, sometimes they will run you up the track, especially if you're the outside, but we give each other enough room, and this guy's just going to go on a little spin, and this guy's getting a penalty. So now, for what was a race for third, those two got together, and one had to serve a penalty, the other had to, you know, mow the grass over there. And now, instead of a battle for third, we're racing for the lead. And so I'll skip here, about another lap or so ahead, and I'm going to get really squirrely here, knock some cones out of the way, get off track, and, well, the game has something called penalties. Yeah, I got a penalty for littering the track. I just littered cones all over that turn, and the officials, well, they weren't too happy. Now, I start ghosting out because I kind of overdrive slightly in that turn, and then I notice my penalty goes down a little bit, and as I start, I guess, serving it, at least that's what the game thinks, so I kind of keep that in mind as I go through that turn, because I feel like I can do that again, and sure enough, the next lap, I ghost out and serve a little bit more of it. And so, as I'm holding off two guys here, trying to get the win, I'm going to try to play a little defensive, run wide here, but I'll try to play defensive, especially on that turn being the last one, and try to manipulate the timing of when my ghost will kind of go in and out of when I'm serving my penalty, and see if I can't use that to my advantage. Now I'll go defensive into here, try to stay off that curb, because you don't want to go in there, and, well, I don't know if there really was a hole there for him to go, but he did nonetheless, and of course my safety rating at the top still goes down, and he gives me a little punt there, and my safety rating still goes down for, well, some reason, and we're still on to the lead now as we come down the backstretch here, right before the long sweeping right-hander. See if I can shave off a little bit more of my time. Yep, looks like some of the numbers shuffle there. Now I hear the tires squealing all over the place. I take a quick peek behind to see if maybe they ran off track or got together, but don't see anything there. And one thing I found with this turn is having a really late apex, so keeping about a car length off of the curb to where you can get a stronger exit. And sure enough, I kind of pull away a little bit, and I'm able to get a little gap as we continue on. Almost get into the grass there, hop away too much of the curb, and honestly was thinking, I'm not sure if the game's going to give me a penalty, but I did keep my left tires on the track, so that's a good sign there. A little slower than I'd like around that turn, but being a little extra cautious, being on the curbs, and I have a much bigger gap than I've had in most of the first half of the race, so I'll take some of that time to serve more of my penalty. Shave off every little hundredth or a tenth here, go forward another lap as nothing really happened that one, and on the final lap I'll serve my full penalty and then just block the inside just in time and get my first win of the day. So not a bad way to get going there, and well, Mr. Magoo isn't too happy, and he'll kind of give me a little pop there, and He says, thanks for the clean slash dirty race. So I'm not sure if he was talking about a clean race or a dirty race or whatever. So yeah, the third race of the day was a little interesting. This drifting Jasmine person, guy, very interesting. Kind of checks me there, makes a late move in that first turn, and then I'll go to the outside, and they will just kind of feel like they should cut the hairpin there, and then kind of goes all over the place and turns into the side of me, and I just kind of shave it off because the warm-up lap, and I'm just trying to stay in the groove of things and maybe get away from them, and I'll tap the grass there ever so slightly and fishtail on the other car there, the other silver Mazda, but let him back ahead of me. And then, well, Jasmine's just going to push me right off track. And, oh boy. So, now my safety rating has gone up to A. It was B earlier, so that's nice to know. But this race, especially at the beginning, I was keeping an eye on that Jasmine person, thinking, oh goodness, are they going to dive bomb this first turn? So the light turns green pretty quickly, or at least lights out to go green racing. A lot quicker than usual, and it caught me off guard, and I lose a little bit of ground to the leader. And nothing but tire squeals behind me. I didn't hear any collisions, so that's where, for me, this turn here was going to be a little interesting. And get kind of moved out of the way. And of course, I'm the one that loses safety rating. And again, they're the ones that don't serve any kind of penalty for that. And the reason why I keep saying penalty is just in road racing, if you do what's called front to back contact, or, well, this guy first wants to go off to the kitty litter. But in front to back contact, where you use the front bumper against the guy's rear bumper or the side of his car to move him out of the way, that's technically a penalty. A lot of officials don't like that. I will call that every day at our kart clubs. These guys will get some side to side contact racing. Now that's different, as you can see, where they were already side to side, and then one car got a little loose, and the guy kind of pushed a little wider than he anticipated, and so for there, I'd say no call. And kind of tries to fight back to get that third spot back, but not able to get by me. And then, well, the guy in the black car ahead of me was able to pull away pretty well. And then this guy, talk about the save of the day. Good job, pal. That was pretty crazy. So, last race of the day, and I'm just going to go ahead and pretty much run through all the laps on this one, because this was probably the best race of the day that I had. Right at the stroke of midnight. And the light takes a long time to go, but off we go. And then for some reason, it looks like about 2 rows of cars behind me don't go, so we have a nice gap behind us going into this first turn, and I'll try to get to his inside, but I'm just going to back out, wait for a better time to pass, as there's plenty of time in these short races still nonetheless, and lots of turns. Well, and sure enough, he just makes a mistake, and I'll just get right by and quickly get back in the gas so I can close that door as much as possible, and set my sights on the leader. And like I said, that sets us up for a pretty good race. So a little over a second behind, and we're just going to slowly but surely reel him in and try to hit our marks to be smooth. And well, I hop the curb there again and kill my exit. And as you can see here, I'm just going to start messing with the setup of my car ever so slightly and see what I can do to maybe hunt him down. I'm starting to get a better feel of the car, get a better feel of the track, getting a better feel of the lines and the handling and everything, and getting back in the groove of things. So I'm feeling comfortable with this one. So that's a pretty good first lap after what's been terrible starts all day. Able to get back up to second and keep the leader in check. Now he'll get a little squirrely here, and that'll allow me to start closing in some time. And he takes this corner way too cautiously after that mistake, braking a little early. But we're able to close the gap a little bit. And as we make our way through those really tricky S's, you can't quite hold the gas. In fact, you'll have to tap the brake a little bit. He'll go wide, and he just gets squirrely again, and he's making that constant mistake of not waiting for the car to just roll through the corners. And I'm not sure if I made any contact there, but I just back out just to be safe. And thankfully no dip in safety rating. It actually goes up, so I probably didn't tap him, but it was very close. Had to have been extremely close. I go purple that time, meaning I ran the fastest lap of the race, so that's again already here on the second lap. But able to close up that gap pretty nicely, and then, as I said earlier, just kind of keeping him in check. So again, this really tricky S section here on the track. Safety rating continues to go up, which is always good. And he'll go wide yet again and actually get a much better exit this time around. So we'll kind of skip down to about halfway in the race, and this first hairpin here, or the second one I should say, and you'll notice the cones out here in the middle of the track, they're gone, and so I missed my braking zone and accidentally gave him a little bump, and just out of respect let him get back onto the track into the racing area, and don't complete that pass. Just not a clean pass, and not really worth, you know, trying to say I'll take the spot with that kind of move. But he'll get a little squirrely here, and I'll get back alongside him, and we'll make a nice little run here. I give him room on the inside, he gives me room on the outside, so I feel like he has that same mutual respect. So we'll just kind of drag race down the backstretch. I'm about maybe a half a mile an hour faster on the exit, and just kind of power move on the outside, out braking him. Kind of kill the middle of my turn, but that helps me secure the spot, and then I'll just go into the next turn and make a bonehead move and outbrake it, and we get alongside each other. And again, he gives me room, so it looks like the last time around going into this second hairpin, no harm, no foul, so that's good. I love those kind of guys. And here I'll make the same mistake again, so just shame on me for missing that braking zone now. Looks like he may have made a mistake as well, because he wasn't there to get by, and then I'll get a little bit into the dirt, and he's all over my back bumper. And he'll just make a fantastic move here, and almost made it stick, and then he'll try to go defensive, but I'm just going to go super aggressive on him, because I know we're having a good race and definitely want to have as much of that as possible. We've got a pretty comfortable lead over third, and we'll stay side by side here as we give each other plenty of room and plenty of space. And then I'll go on the defensive side going into this turn, and he does not do what I did, but for some reason in the middle of the turn I just stopped turning and almost give up the spot back. And so some awesome racing here, giving each other plenty of room, but pushing each other to the very limits. Exactly how racing should go. Super fun. So as we come up about 1.5 laps to go, trying to pull a little bit of a gap on him, and for some reason I just brake way too early there, and he goes a little wide on the entry, gets a good exit, and he's right there. If I make one mistake, he's gonna get back alongside me. So no pressure, right? You know, trying to get that second win of the day. As we come out of the final turn, white flag is in the air. One more time around. So through turn 1 really nicely, and then 2 and 3 pretty nicely as well, and then coming up on the second hairpin, turn 4, I just hear tires going off, and then I look up at the top and don't see the counter catch up, and sure enough he just went off track, and so there's nothing else after that lap, and we get our second win of the day. And kudos to him, because he gave me a shout out and said it was a fun race, and then I kind of had to follow up and apologize and let him know I gave him room to get back on, and he just kind of responded back that he almost got me, but you know, almost only counts in horseshoes and hand grenades. So, but 2 wins of the night right at the stroke of midnight. Feeling good about that. Fun to jump back in. So I hope to make a few more videos like this for you guys, and thanks for watching, and make sure you subscribe for more of our videos here on Center Step Gaming.